Okay, well, I'm glad to be with a whole whack of my buddies at Backcountry Horsemen. I'm going to start the presentation with a PowerPoint show. So I will share my screen now. And hopefully everyone can see a lovely little screen with a horse council symbol, etc. So I'm going to just do a little history lesson of the relationship between these three entities. If we go way back in history, Backcountry Horsemen used to have an old website that had a trail database that was originally designed by a fellow by the name of Jack Brakes. And then unfortunately that whole website got hacked, and it was decided between Backcountry and Horse Council that Backcountry would piece together the remaining data, and it was given to Horse Council, and Horse Council agreed to maintain a database from that part forward. And there's over 250 trails, camps, and parks listed in the database. And then in December 2017, Backcountry member named Lynn DeVries and I went over to the Horse Council office in the mainland to talk about making geo-reference maps and providing them free to anyone. And Lynn's chapter, the Central Vancouver Island chapter, was actually the first geo-reference map that had been made by Backcountry people. And Lynn had brought from her previous life, she'd worked in government and had experienced it with GIS mapping. So that's how that all sort of developed. So that's how the program got started. And we thought, okay, well, this is really great. We're going to, we want to make maps and we want to make them available. So it was then decided that we would have a relationship with Avenza Maps. It was a Canadian company. They had no problem dealing with a nonprofit that was never going to ask for money to have maps on their website. And that's how we ended up with the relationship with Avenza Maps. So that's the short history lesson. And we're going to do this PowerPoint, and I'm also going to do a live demonstration on my phone. So anyone else that has a phone there and has Avenza will be able to step through how to actually purchase a map. So, okay. So, why use Avenza Maps? So it provides maps on your phone, tells you where you are without needing Wi-Fi. So you can be out in the middle of nowhere, and that works because of the GPS in your phone. Horse Council so far has made 23 maps of riding areas that have been confirmed and tracked throughout the province, and they are only available through the Avenza Map Store, and they're all free. Avenza, as I mentioned before, is a Canadian company. It has very good support. They've actually have a phone number that they answer and emails that they respond to, and they have over 1 million maps that are available from all over the world. You will also in Avenza to be able to download free topographical maps for anywhere in Canada. You can also make tracks of your rides for future year use, or if you want to give those tracks to Horse Council and they're on public land, we can make more maps. So I'm going to quickly go through the slides of downloading the Avenza app. I think everyone received an email saying, please, please, please get it on your phone so that this will mean more to you when you participate in this webinar. So you basically go look for the Avenza app. That's the symbol, and you can get it from the App Store or the Play Store. When you first get in there, you're going to see these are screen prints from my Android phone. So it welcomes you. You have to register as per this red arrow, and you have to create an account. So it uses your email, and the reason it wants your email is there is times where you can get maps through a computer and they will email you the link, and then you want to set up a password for Avenza. The next step you go through, one thing it will ask you is it says, do you want Avenza to access the device's location. And yes, you definitely need that because that's the whole purpose of your georeferencing. There's the two selections, precise and approximate. I always pick precise because approximate for your settings on your phone can be actually 30 some meters, which is, you could be kind of 100 feet difference from where you are to where you really are on a map. And then once you kind of get logged in, you get shown this next screen over on the right, and you get a little thing called getting started, and I'll show it to you in the next screen. And the other thing I want to show you on here is, I know I'm logged on from my screen because you can see up at the top right, you can see Head and Shoulders with a tick mark on it. This symbol that I've circled also on the right-hand side of the screen that looks like a little funnel, that's called a filter. And down at the bottom of the screen are the three things that you always see on your Avenza screens, being My Maps, Layers, and Store. So your next step, of course, is if you want to get a map, you go to the store, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have to pay for it. You can buy maps, but you certainly can get them for free as well. So this was the getting started original little map that you get when you first join, and it gives you some of the little features, etc. But it's basically just there to get you started. Okay, so if you're ready to get in and get a map, what you do is, once you've gone to the store on your phone, is you're going to see a screen that looks like this on your phone. So you got to find a map. You can see the big red circle around the filters and a big red circle around Explore on a map. So Explore on the map is going to bump us, and I'll show you on the next screen. It bumps you right into the map, and by default, it will bump you into where you are now. Like, it will know by your GPS that you're located in the Comox Valley or Columbia or wherever, and your map will pop up and you'll be in your own area. Doesn't mean you have to stay there. I'm just saying that's where it bumps you into. And then to find Horse Council maps, which we'll be stepping through later also, is Horse Council is considered to be what is called a publisher, right? So Backroads Map Books is a publisher, National Geographic is a publisher, even Trail Forks maps are in here, et cetera. So we are considered to be a publisher. So that's one way. If you want to find just the maps that Horse Council has done of the horse trails in BC, the easiest way to do is through Find a Publisher. Okay. So here's the two screen prints after. These are actually from Linda's iPad, I believe. When she went in to find a map, you'll notice at the top here that I've put a little bit of a border around. She was located and zoomed into the Columbia Shuswap Regional District because that's where she lives. Okay, and each one of these circles that you see here represents a map. I'm pretty sure where it says 2, 3, it means that there's more than one map in that area. Okay, the next screen over, what she's done is she's cleared her location that was up in here. She's cleared her location, and she's actually done filter using the publisher. If you look again on the screen here and you look at the thing that looks like the little funnel, notice now it's got a red dot on it. When it's got a red dot on it, it means you are filtering in some way, right? It's showing you that you have narrowed something down. So what she's done now is she's narrowed down, and all it's showing is Horse Council maps. Okay, I'm going to go to this screen here. This is showing the same thing in essence, except for this is an Android, and you'll see they're very, very similar. So on the left-hand side, we're back at the Find a Map. You can see again, I'm signed in. There's my Head and Shoulders. I haven't clicked anything here for popular, free, or anything, but that's my first place to find a map. You'll also notice at the bottom where it says My Maps Layers Store, the store is highlighted because that's where we are. We're in the store. Okay, then what I did up here where it said location, keywords, activity, I actually just typed in Horse Council BC, and you do have to use the full word Horse Council. It won't recognize HCBC. So Horse Council BC, and then I clicked on the little search button, and here comes up all the maps that Horse Council has made. And what it's doing is you'll notice that the first one says free and the next one says open map. And that's because on my phone, on my particular phone, I don't have the Trapping Creek map, but I do have Larch Hills. So it's in the store, it's looking at my phone and it's saying, oh, well, you've already actually got Larch Hills. I mean, I can open it for you. It's what it's saying. Or do you want Trapping Creek? And then I can scroll with my finger up and down and see these maps as a listing as I want. Or if you remember from the previous slide, I could view it on a map, and you can see the button at the bottom of the right-hand screen print where it says view on a map. And if I clicked like that, it would actually end up, I'm going to go back a slide. It would actually end up looking more like this. It would view it on a map. So you can look at it as a list, or you can look at it as on a map. Okay, this is also on Linda's iPad. And so now we're seeing the map, but we're also seeing the list of maps beside that on her screen. On my phone, which we'll demonstrate later, that listing of maps says free, 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 and all their names on my phone shows down at the bottom. Doesn't matter where it shows, but you've got your map and you've got the list. And as you use your finger and click on one, like if I went and clicked on Williams Beach, it would take my map over there to show it to me. The other thing that's happening here is if you look at this green circle, it represents a map and it's been clicked on. Notice how it's got this shaded sort of orangey color behind it. That is the map bounds of the map that's selected. So that's the area that's the edges of that map. And I also know that this map that she's clicked on, if I go back over to the left-hand side of the screen, notice it's Horse Council Lundbaum, and I can see because there's a red bar on the side. That's the one she's looking at. It's at the top of the page. She's clicked on it. It's showing it to her on the map, and it's showing the map bounds as well. And if she clicked on it and said, I want it, she clicked her little free and click open map, bingo, there it is. So there is the Horse Council Lundbaum Lakes trail map that will appear on your phone. And when you get to Lundbaum and you call it up, you've now got that map located on your phone. Okay. So that's really nice for all the Horse Council maps that we've managed to do, because we've been sent GPX tracks and we've made a map, and Horse Council actually contracts a cartographer to make the maps for us. But what happens if I'm going somewhere and I want to ride there, but there's no Horse Council map for that area, but I still want to know where I am? I want a georeference map. Then what I want to do then is I'm going to go get a topographical map that's available in Avenza. They're made by the government, it's Natural Resources Canada, and the whole country has been mapped. Now, I personally prefer to do this on a computer just because it has a bigger screen. You can use your phone. There's nothing to stop you from using your phone. You can zoom over to where the area you're going to ride. You could type in Natural Resources Canada in your publisher filter. Click on free maps. They're all free as well. And you will see your Natural Resources Canada map. So I'm going to show this next slide is going to show you what it looks like if you do it on a computer. So if you did it on a computer, the first thing you're going to do is you've obviously got to go to the Avenza website and search from a computer. You're going to go to a website. So this is the main Avenza map website landing page. And when you go in here, the woman is active. She's actually walking up the trail, and you want to click on the button here that just says search now. That's your first step. When you do that, you're going to see that. Now, there's two things on this screen that I want you to just be aware of. So your topographical maps, just like before, are listed down the side. But if you look at the listing of the maps, it seems kind of funny because on the left-hand side of the screen, it says they're in Quebec. But yet I seem to be somewhere on a map located around Chase and Salmon Arm. So what caused that? So what that is that map on the right-hand side is I can scroll around wherever I want, right? So I've basically scrolled away from where it wanted to go in Quebec, and I scrolled over to BC. I've zoomed into this area, but it has not yet refreshed the map listing on the side yet, because I have not clicked on, do you see at the top where the big arrow is? I have to click on search this area. So what have I done here? I've zoomed into where I want. I've picked the publisher over here, being Natural Resources Canada. As soon as you just type in natural, it'll come up. There's a list. The same thing with Horse Council. As soon as you type in horse, you're going to see us. And then I've also ticked free maps because I'm cheap. I don't want to pay for anything. And then map bounds, you're going to see what happens in the next slide when you pick map bounds. Okay. Just remember, you do have to click. In fact, I think you have to double click on that search this area. And now here's all my topographic maps in that area. So all these little boxes are individual topographical maps. Okay. And if I click on any one of these dots, it will tell me which one it is. And that's what's popped to the front, right? And that's if I want, I can actually get it right from the computer, or if you're on the phone, same thing. You're just going to say, go to your cart, say free, and it's going to be on your phone. I have one word of advice here. If you're going to be riding in an area, it's a good idea to get the map that you think you're going to need. So let's say you think you're going to be riding near Chase, so you maybe pick up this map here. If you're not 100% sure where you're going to be, quite how close to this edge, because this is only a topo map, it's not showing you roads and that sort of thing very well. So I tend to, because I've actually run off a map before, I've been riding along and then all of a sudden I look at my phone and I'm like, oh dear, I'm not even on the map. So if you're going to be riding in a general area, download more than one topographical map. If you think you're going to be riding a little bit to the east, then download the one that's beside it as well. You're better to have too many maps on your phone than too few. And these topographical maps are actually quite small. Okay, so that sort of covers your getting your maps. And I'm going to show you in Avenza, where do you go for help? So this is the screen for support for Avenza maps. So in Google, just type in, I just type in support Avenza maps and you will be bumped right here. And this is the top part of the screen. And then I've done another screen print because you can see the top of these boxes. And then I'm go to the next. This is the bottom part of the screen, and you can see there's lots of help here. So if you're brand new and getting started, there's getting started with Avenza maps, and there's a whole bunch of articles in there. They also separate the articles for you into Android and iOS or iPhones. So that can help you. And there's stuff here for recreational users. Complete documentation is down here. If you're a firefighter, I guess you go in there. So that should help you if you need more stuff. The website is good. There's lots of information there. And there's also help buttons, and there's you can get the technical support, email support from this page as well. Okay, so that's pretty much the end of the PowerPoint. What I'm going to do next is I'm actually got my phone hooked onto the computer, and we're going to look on my phone, and we're going to go through the process of getting a map from Avenza, free map from Horse Council. So if any of you that are listening have your phone available and you want to practice that, and you want to get the same map as I'm going to get, then just grab your phone and we'll step through it together. So then you'll know how to get your maps on your phone. And remember, you always want to get your maps before you go where you're going. There's a chance you're going to go ride somewhere and you're not going to have Wi-Fi. You may not have data, and you're not going to be able to download your maps out there. So make sure before you go out, get your maps while you're at home when you've got Wi-Fi. Save you money, and it'll save you a lot of grief if you get out there and find out there actually is no Wi-Fi out here. You'll still be able to ride, absolutely no problem. It'll find you because of your GPS, but it's better to have your maps already. Then after that, we're going to show you a YouTube video, and it's my dear husband taking a video of me using the phone actually on the trail. So you'll watch me make a track, etc. So we'll watch that as well. And then after that, Sarah will step us through the online trail database. So I'm going to stop sharing now. And I guess I can take a second here and ask Linda, is there any questions we need to deal with? You're muted.
No, there isn't. There's just been a couple and I've answered them. Yep.
Well, great stuff, eh?
That means your PowerPoint was informative.
Good. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to flip over to my phone. Okay. So hopefully everybody can see my live phone, and I will just test it. I'm going to scroll up here a little bit, and you should be able to see it doing its thing. Okay.
Looks great.
Looks great. Okay. Okay, so I've gone right into my maps. So hopefully everybody can get in there. My maps is, again, look down at the bottom of your phone, and my maps is on the left-hand side. Now you can see I've got a fair number of maps on my phone. Again, I can see I'm logged in at the top because my Head and Shoulders has got a little tick mark on it. The other thing that is here is I've sorted this. You can see a sort that's at the top. I've sorted it by name. The other way you can sort it is if you click, put your finger over the little down arrow by sorted by name, and you should see that. And sometimes it's useful if you're going to be riding around home or you're at a trail, you can click it and change it to sort by distance. Okay. So now my phone has changed, and you can see that I'm actually right now on 3 different maps that I have loaded on this phone. So I'm on a back roads map, I'm on Campbell River recreational map, and I'm on Oyster River map. So those maps obviously overlap, but my location is on there. Okay, I'll look at two things here. I'm going to just quickly, I'm going to go look in this map. You may not have a map to look at, but when I click on that map, okay, so I'm on that map and it has immediately taken me to where I live. So I live on Davis Road, and that blue dot that's on the A of Davis, that's my location right now. Okay. If I took the map with my fingers and I move myself somewhere else, and now I'm going over in Wildwood Interpretive Forest and I go, oh, where the heck am I? If I look at the bottom of my screen and I see a little arrow on the far left-hand side at the bottom, if I click on that with my finger, it'll bump me right back to where I'm located. That's your locator button. And you'll be seeing that in the video that I've made when I'm out in the trail as well. Okay, when I want to get back to my maps, I go up to the name of it at the very top bar, and there's an arrow pointing to the left-hand side of the phone at the very top. And I'm just going to click that, and it just brings me back to my maps. Okay, so let's go find a map. So I'm going to go to the store. This should look familiar. Okay, and remember, I can do it two ways. I could, where it says find a map and it says location, keywords, activity, I could type in Horse Council BC there. That will work fine. The other thing you might want to know how to do is where that little funnel is. Click on that funnel for a second. Okay. And right now, this is how it's filtering for me. It's just filtering for, it thinks it's the best match, but scroll down. There's lots of stuff here. You've got price range, products, and publisher. So there's all these things that I could select here, and you can select multiple, right? I could select free, I could select topographic, I could select the name of somebody, and it'll filter using all those three criteria. Okay, so I could go down to publisher. I'm going to try that. I'm going to click on find a publisher, and there's a little search button there. So I'm just going to click on that. Okay, and now it's actually my screen that you're looking at is showing me publishers that I've looked at recently. So Horse Council is actually listed. But if you don't see it, start typing in Horse Council up at the top, right? So you could go there and start typing in Horse Council, and see now it's already narrowed it down on my screen. I click it, it's clicked, and then top right, click on apply. And now at the bottom, show results. Green bar at the bottom, show results. I click there. And here comes now this is interesting. So here comes the Horse Council maps, but can anybody see what it thinks it's helping me? So what it's done is it's giving me the Horse Council maps, but only in my area. Do you see how I'm looking at Bear Creek, and you can see Comox Valley Regional District on the top there? I want to get rid of that. So I'm going to just try hitting that X. And now I see all the maps that Horse Council has done. Starts with Trapping Creek, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so I can scroll through them. I can also view them on a map. Okay, whichever way you want to do it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and remember I said how if it says free, it means I don't have it. If it says open map, it means I've already downloaded at some point in time. So I am trying to find, I'm going way down near the bottom here. We just made some new maps of Cultus Lake. And they're way down near the bottom. I think these probably populate by the date they were published. And if you look at that, I got Horse Council BC Cultus Lake Google Map, and I've also got a topo map. So this is an example. We actually had our cartographer make 2 maps for you guys. One that is a Google Earth and one that is a topographical map. I'm going to pick, you can pick whichever one you want, but I'm going to pick the topographical map. I'm just going to click on free. You saw that flash by, it downloaded it. And I now will have it in my maps. It will be there. So I can either open it from here. If I went back to my maps, it would be there as well. So there I am, brand new map in my maps. Now, if I press my locator button, it won't work because I am nowhere near Cultus Lake. Okay. And when we do the YouTube video, you'll see more about the information of the stuff that's on this screen. So we'll wait until we see the YouTube video to cover that. Okay, I'm going to hit the back arrow where it says Horse Council. And where is that going to bump me? It's going to bump me back to my maps. Okay, there's all my maps. It's sorted by distance. Again, I could change that sort if I wanted. If I went to date, that Cultus Lake would come to the top. It's the most recent one I've downloaded. Okay. Hopefully that helps everybody for how you work on your phone and go to the store and get a map. So I'm going to stop sharing again.
Actually, Sharon, could you just keep that up for a second?
Yeah.
Somebody had a question about what and where is the locator button. Do you mind going over that one?
Oh, sure. That's no problem. Okay, I'm going to go back into my Avenza. I am going to go to, I'm going to change it to sorted by distance. So I'm actually on a map. Okay, I'm going to grab, I'll grab a different map this time. I'll go to my Campbell River map. Okay, so this is perfect. So here's my map. And it's nowhere near where I am. It's just, it's zoomed to wherever it is. My locator button is bottom left. And it's a little directional arrow pointing at about 30 degrees. It's the left button at the bottom bar. I just click it once and it zooms me over to my road to where I'm sitting right now. And notice how now on the live screen print that directional arrow is dark green. So it's brought up the color to say, hey, you've activated that. Okay, so remember, I can move my map away again. I can go somewhere else. And then I just hit it again and it zooms me back. Did that answer?
Yeah, I think that covered it. That should be great.
Okay. Any other questions before I disconnect the phone?
Sorry, Sharon, they're asking if we can sort our maps alphabetically, and yes, we can, but unfortunately, because all the maps are named Horse Council.
Yes.
Yeah, sort. But if you have other maps in there, like what you have already in yours, if you can go back to your sort by name up in the top left-hand corner.
Sure can.
So right now you've got sort by distance.
Yep. So there's sort by name.
Yeah.
Yep. And notice the ones that came to the top are the ones with the numbers. Those are the numbers that are assigned to the natural resources topo maps. It's a grid. So you'll have 092 F14 and then you'll have 092. You can sort of see those are close to me. And when you look at the map on the computer, you'll see that the whole thing is a grid and they're all numbered. But yes, and let me explain the rationale. When we started getting maps, the ability to search originally in Avenza by publisher wasn't really there. So the decision was made that all the maps that we create in Avenza, we were going to start them with the name Horse Council BC. just so that for searching, that would also help, because Bear Creek Park might not help. That was our rationale. Any other questions?
Yeah, can you just show on the map in the store where the Vancouver Island Horse Council maps are?
Okay, so you want me to go back to the store?
Yep.
Okay. And you want me to find, you want
She
me to go to
wants-
the Horse Council maps again?
Yeah, wants to see where your Vancouver Island Horse Council maps are.
Oh, okay. What you'd have to do is,
Oh, hang on a sec. I'm misreading the question. She says,
Okay.
I don't see any for Vancouver Island. Will the next section be showing us in detail how to get maps for areas not available? Those are what Sharon says is the topographic maps. The Horse Council maps are all created by volunteers who have gone out and done tracks and for a certain area and then submitted them to Horse Council, and that is how the map is made.
the Horse Council maps.
Yeah.
It's been made with riding areas where people have gone out and ridden for us. They've used a GPS or they've used Avenza. They've made tracks, given them to us. We've hired the cartographer. We've made the map. Do we have the whole province map? Not yet. But you know, we'd love to. So yeah, hopefully that answers it. If you wanted to see Horse Council maps only in your area, that was actually what happened when I first came into my phone, because when I typed in Horse Council here, I could type it in here. It actually brought them into, this is everything now, but it originally brought me into my area. And if you did it on your phone right now and typed in Horse Council BC, it would default to go to your area. And if it didn't, the other thing you can do is I've now just gone to search on the map, right? So then I could go here and say, okay, show them to me, and see as I zoom in here, it's showing me these are Horse Council maps, and it's saying, okay, there's some maps here, right? And if I keep going in, there they are. There's the two that are right in my backyard. Okay, does that answer the question?
Almost. So just back to the topographical maps. So let's say you were down in the Southern Island. How would you download maps that aren't Horse Council, that are the topographical ones?
Okay. And you want to do that using your phone or using your computer?
Phone would be
Use
ideal.
the phone,
Yeah.
Sharon.
Using the phone? Okay. Okay. Well, what we could do is, you want to be down island. So I'm going down island. Here I go. And I'm going to change. Does anybody remember the name of the publisher? So if I go up here, the publisher was Natural Resources Canada. So if I click on that, I am going to see, it doesn't seem to be working. Just bear with me for a second. No, okay. Natural Resources Canada. Now, can you see my screen for a second? Because this is a good thing to show you. I'm under publishers, and because I've used Natural Resources before, it's up at the top. Just notice there's 31,402 maps published by Nat, but that's all the maps all the way across Canada. Okay, so I'm going to tick on that. I'm going to apply, and then I'm going to show results. And now I have to view on map, because remember, here I am back in Quebec. And I'm going to go back over and to zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, and get to where you want to be. And remember, you're going to have to zoom in quite a bit, right? Because these topographical maps I actually tried to look up the bounds of them. Linda, I don't know if you've ever figured out, you know, are they 5 miles by 5 miles or 20 miles by 20 miles? I don't know actually exactly how big they are.
No, I don't know either.
Yep. So I've zoomed into an area around Cobble Hill and I'm going to click search this area. Remember I said you had to do that. So I'm going to click there. So now it's telling me that there's 3 topographical maps in that area. And here we go. 1, 2, 3. And I'm hoping these are still my topo maps. Let's have a look. There you go. I've clicked on one of them and it's the topographical map for the Shawnigan area, Shawnigan Lake area. I can now use my finger, the bottom of my phone, and just slide it across. There's another Shawnigan, and see how it's moving me around on the map as I do it? Okay, so it's saying for that area that you look for, I'm just bouncing me around. There's one for Duncan. There's another one for Duncan area. So to kind of get the idea there, how you flip around and decide which one you want. And like I said, take more than one. If you think there's 2 there for Duncan, if you're going to be in that area, get both of them.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, so backroads maps, maps that are, you have to pay for all of those. You can download those in there. You can download up to 3 maps from a site like Shoe Shop Trail Alliance. You can get those. A lot of cross-country ski clubs have maps, geo-reference maps that you can download. So outside of Avenza, you can download 3 outside maps. But there's a whole whack of other maps that if you want to pay for them, then they're all there too.
Yep. The other thing that I'll add to what Linda said is, so the limit of 3 is you can have 3 maps that you didn't get from the map store, be free or not free. So you can have 3 maps that you got from somewhere else. If you want more than that, you can get an Avenza Pro version. And when you get the Pro version, you have unlimited maps you could get from anywhere. And then the other thing I've certainly noticed is in Avenza, I certainly have downloaded Trail Forks maps that are in Avenza as well. So I don't know if they've got some kind of reciprocal agreement that's there's some sharing going on there. But Backroads Maps is definitely a popular one. You can sometimes buy them singly. You can buy them as a book for an area. They're not that expensive. Yeah. Anything else? Okay, so I'm going to stop share now, and Allison is going to run that video. The video takes 14 minutes, but it's going to show you how to use your phone when you're out there on the trail. So I'll stop sharing now.
All right, so get my screen up here.
And just a word of warning, just my husband and I made this. We are not professional photographers or videographers, and it's really not that great of a little clip.
You did a good job, Sharon. You did a good job.
We did our best.
Don't sell yourself short. This is awesome.
Hi, we're at Williams Beach Trails, and we have a map that we've loaded before we got here, which is a good idea, just in case you haven't got cell service. The other advice I would give you is when you're using your maps, remember to set your phone onto airplane mode, because that saves a lot of battery power with Avenza, and you'll get a lot further on your map tracking. So I'm showing you my phone now. You can see the map that I'm on. This is how you use your fingers to zoom in and zoom out. Okay, and if I want to know where I am, down in this bottom left-hand corner, you see a little directional arrow. It'll be similar on an iPhone. The symbol might be a little bit different, but they're always in the same place. So I'm just going to click that, and you'll see that I all of a sudden zoomed over to this P, and you'll see I've got a blue circle. So when I start to walk, what's going to happen is that blue circle is going to follow me along as I go. Okay, so I'm going to go a little while up here, and I'll start the video again when I get up to an intersection. So here we are, we're still on the trail. We've come up now and we're at an intersection, and the trail goes 4 different ways. So you can still see my blue marker is there. Again, I can zoom in if I want by spreading my fingers. Whoops. Spreading my fingers. I can move the map down. Okay. Notice that crosshairs that's on my map. What that is if I put in a place marker, that's where it would appear. But yes, so I'm on that blue circle. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually change, because the map right now is oriented to the north. If I want it to map or orient itself to the direction I'm pointing, the selection arrow I got to get my blue dot working, I hit it again and it goes straight up like that. You'll notice it gets a bit shaky. And that's because it's actually now locating the direction I'm going. So now if I move around, it's actually going to change. So it's going to help me to orient myself if I've got 3 or 4 trails. I don't have to ride down them to find out which direction I'm going. So that's just a hint there. So you change that back to orient to north by hitting it again. Right now I'm oriented north. Now the other things on the screen here, that's my latitude, longitude measurements there. This second item is a pin. So if I want to mark this for some reason, I can click on that and I put down what name I want to give it. Just get rid of that one. And I'm going to call it intersection. Okay. I can change the symbol if I want. I could put photos on it. I could do descriptions, all those kind of things, like time, location. But right now I'm just going to leave it at intersection, and I'm going to add that place mark, and you accept it by ticking that little tick mark on the side. Okay, so now you actually see the little red dot. Okay, so but be careful when you do that, because it puts it where, not necessarily where your blue mark was, it's where that crosshair was. So if I actually went down here, I could go put another marker down there, even though I'm not there right now. So if I went and picked this again, I would be putting the next little marker down there. So just be careful with that. Okay, I'm back just on the main screen when you've signed in. So this is me. I've signed in under my email. The reason I wanted to show you this screen is this is the screen that's got download history. So if you have downloaded a few maps before a trip or whenever, and you've maybe done it on your computer, which is easier because you've got a big screen, you can see the maps better. If you've done it on your computer, the next time you come on your phone, you actually just click on download history, and it will actually go find all the maps that you've recently downloaded. So here's some that I've done that I haven't downloaded yet to the phone, but I've actually gone to the Avenza map store and got them from the Pacific Rim National Park. So if I want them, I can download them. Okay, so there's that. It's under downloads. Now let me take you back a step. Now, where are my maps? So if I go down to the bottom of my screen, they're under my maps. I have sorted my maps. Up at the top here, there's a selection. I've sorted them by distance. So the phone knows where I am right now. So it's telling me I'm on actually 3 maps that I have on my phone. I'm on the Williams Beach map that we're using right now. Hit my little locator button, there I am. Okay, I could go back. That's a Horse Council map. I could go back, and I'm also on this one. So I'm going to click on this one. Here comes up some crazy map. Hit my locator button, and there I am. Right, so it'll find me on any maps that I'm on the, there's another one, and bingo, there I am. So you can be on more than one map at a time. Okay, so the next step to show you is What happens if I want to make a track? So on this map in particular, there is no tracks. So maybe I want to make a track. So if I want to make my own track, I go to the button to the far right there. And if you see the second one, it says record GPS tracks. I'm going to click that. Okay, it wants to access your location data. That's fine. I'm going to allow that. Okay, and it's asking me if I want it all the time. This is an Android. So I'm going to say allow all the time. That's fine. And I think I should be able to go back. Okay. Now let me go back in there again. Should have, okay, there we go. So that's the screen you're going to see. It's going to say it's ready to track. Now, the biggest mistake you're going to make now is you're going to forget to press this button down at the bottom, this big green one that says start tracking. So you say start tracking and it's doing its thing. You can swipe this away now so you don't really see it, but see down at the bottom, it still says tracking. So then I basically merrily start walking. I'm going away now. Here I go. I'm going to go for a bit and then we'll do another picture. As you can see from this trail, it looks like I've come to the end of it. So I'm going to stop this particular track. So I'll show you how you do that now. So I'm going to swipe the tracking back up. There we go. And I'm going to put stop. Okay. I only went point whatever of a kilometer and you can barely see it. So I'm going to zoom in here so you can see it. Okay, so you see that little dinky orange line? That's the track I just made. Okay, so, but it's there. Now, and if I want to see how it's represented and maybe name it, tracks are considered to be layers. So if you look on the phone, there's a thing that looks like a stacked bunch of piece of paper. Click on that. And that's your layers, right? So right now it's saying I've got 3 layers that are active. And I click in there and I look at the one that I've just done. So here it, I'm looking for today's date. Here it is here, track 2. I can click on it, tells me there it is, how many meters it is when I did it. Okay, and I clicked on it again and now I can name it, right? I can click on it, get rid of that name and call it bombed track because we didn't get anywhere. Okay, and that's fine. You can change the style, you can change the color, all that kind of good stuff. So there you go. So I've got, and then I tick it down at the very bottom to see where your keyboard is. And there we go. And now it's also, now it's called bombed track. Okay, so that's how you do tracking if you want to do that. You don't have to do tracks if you've got a map that's already got tracking, GPS track map like Horse Council has published. You can just follow along, follow your little blue dot, you'll know where you are. Okay. So we're going to give you a little more information about your maps and sometimes what can happen when you're on your map. So I'm going to go into my map and I can do my locator button. There I am. I'm going to zoom in. Now let me just show you something. You'll notice right now I've got the name of my map at the top and I've got my, I'm going to call it a menu bar at the bottom. But sometimes those disappear on you and you can't figure out why. Like that. So now if you look at my phone, it's gone and you're panicked and you're like, where did my menu go? So actually all you have to do is click it a single time again. Nice short little click and those two will come back. Okay, another thing I want to cover is if you look down at the bottom and in the other video I mentioned lat long, that's the default right now that's displayed. You may end up in a discussion with somebody about that. If you click there, there is a whole ton of different ways you can do lat long. This is the default that I've used at the top. I would recommend using that. We just looked up on the internet what search and rescue uses. They actually use something different, but search and rescue guys are professionally trained and don't worry, they'll find you if you give them those coordinates. So that's how you get your lat long. Oh, the other thing we were going to look at was settings of accuracy of your map. So it's a good idea to check what your settings are on your phone. They're different between an Android and an iPhone. So in mine, I have to go out of my map, my back button, and then if you can see the 3 dots beside all my maps, I'm going to go into that 3 dots, and you can see here. No, I'm wrong. My maps is settings. Nope, I'm wrong. Let me go back a step. So you want the top 3 dots. I want the top 3 dots. Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay, so it's up by my name. Sorry about that. Top 3 dots. And on an Android, I go to settings. Okay, so what's important about these is you look down here, go to the one, units of measure, you'll find out is probably in kilometers. Go to the one that says GPS. Okay. And then here, go have a look down a little bit on where it talks about horizontal accuracy, distance, and time. So I've reduced these. You can see you can do 8 meters, 16, and I think the default is 32. And there's a lot of difference between accuracy between 32 meters and 8 meters. And so what that means is when you're going along on your map, your lat long and your position on your map may not be as accurate because it's saying, I don't care about anything unless it's 32 meters or more. So you might want to change that. And then I've put down that it's going to record what's happened every 2 meters, and it's going to record it every 5 seconds. Now we found in here, there's 2 and 30. I think the default was 30 seconds. This is a custom. I could set a custom, but we just found on the iPhone that getting the custom was a little bit harder. Is that right, Bonnie?
Yeah, it sure was.
So anyways, but have a look in there and pick what you want. Again, think about this in that if you have it set to a shorter period of time, that's going to eat up a little bit more battery. Okay, so the only other thing that we wanted to cover was sharing a map. So, okay, so let's say I want to share a map, this one that I'm on in, it's a Backroads map book. If I go to the 3 stars, they go to share. Okay, and then I can pick whatever. I can send it by a message. I can send it how by email, whatever. If I send it by email, we just tested that. And what happened was I got the email from Bonnie and it actually linked me right to the Avenza map store to the map. And in that particular one, it was a pay map. So all I had to do was click on buy. I think you're ready to purchase it, right? So remember, if you purchase it on the computer, right, then you find it in your download history later and you can get it. But that's how you share maps between each other if you're not working on the same map. Okay, I think that's all there is for this one. Oh, what a good time.
All right. Perfect. So we're all done the video there.
So can I just ask if Linda, did you get any more questions? Were you able to answer everybody okay? I saw some coming in on the chat.
mhm.
I think you're muted, Linda.
Yeah. You're muted there.
Sorry, yes, the questions were in relation to your video. So I think when the presentation is shared, these people can go back and look at the video and know, you know, take it slower as to what they need to do, because yeah, you can't go back on the videos and pause them and all that because they're already done. There was only one other question. If you have a map that you've downloaded, how do you delete it? Well, there's 3 dots on the side. If you go into My Maps and all your maps are listed there, there's 3 dots on the right-hand side. If you click the three dots, there will be a word delete, and then away you can go. If you have a track that you have made and you want to delete just the track, if you're on that map, if you touch the track, there will be a little, the track name or the little info button, and there's a trash can at the bottom when you open up that track. It also gives you more details about how far you rode, how much time that you were out on the trail, your elevation gain, your stopping time. There's more information in there when you actually click on the track itself, or you can trash it. I think that was it. So I think we're pressing for time now.
Yeah, we are a little bit pressed for time, so I won't spend too much time on the Horse Council Trails database, but I'll just share my screen now and I'll just really briefly go over that for you guys. All right, so this is just the landing page of the Horse Council BC website. So if you type in hcbc.ca into your web browser, it will take you here. And then along the top headings, recreation is where you're going to find the trails database, and you can hover over it and select online trails database. And that will bring you to the Horse Council Trails database here. And then I'll just go into a trail record right off the bat and just show you kind of where to upload comments and photos. And as that is kind of, and GPX tracks as well. So I know the Slocan Valley Rail Trail has been updated recently. I saw Brent Ray on the call. Thank you, Brent, for submitting some info on this one, and some beautiful photos. So yeah, so this is the Slocan Valley Rail Trail record, and you start with the photos at the top, and then if you scroll down, there's different headings along here as well. So this one starts off at the informational heading. And then the ones that we're interested in for right now is the comments section. So if you have a comment you want to add about a certain trail, you can click on that comments heading and then scroll down and yeah, just provide, say if there's a, I don't know, the trail, say a bridge is, you know, not kind of up to snuff, it's needs some work or something like that, you know, can add a little comment about that, or, you know, there might be various things that you want to address by going in here. So yeah, so you just fill out your name, email, can write a subject of kind of your comment and kind of what you want your comment to be posted, and then post comment. And then on my end, we get an email saying that a comment has been posted. We go into the system, just have a look at it and then click submit, and it'll be posted. So you won't see it posted in real time. We have to approve it for it to go up on the website. But that's kind of how that works. And then for photos and GPX tracks, so you'll see beside the comments heading here, there's upload/download. And this is where you're going to have the opportunity to upload GPX tracks or images. So yeah, so GPX tracks will be, you'll have to browse on your computer for that GPX track file and upload it here. And then images as well. You'd have to go browse on your computer, find the image that you want, and then upload as well. So yeah, so those are kind of the two spots for those uploads. And yeah, I think maybe I'll leave it at that. There is it can get into more detail. You can upload a whole like trail guide if there's a new trail that or a trail that you've been riding, you don't see it on the trails database, you can upload that as well. And you can find that on the kind of landing page for the trails database, contribute to our database. And that's where you would upload a whole trail or make changes to kind of a trail guide. But yeah, comments, photos, GPX tracks, those are some kind of simple ways. And yeah, definitely good to kind of get some of that stuff updated. And if you guys do have trouble updating as well, you can certainly reach out to me. I'll maybe write my email in the chat, recreation@hcbc.ca, and can kind of help walk you through that as well. That was really kind of fast, quick, and dirty, but just a kind of a quick overview. Sharon or Linda, anything else do you think I should share, or before we kind of wrap it up?
I'm happy to take more questions if there's questions that have been asked that Linda hasn't been able to answer. We certainly can stay on for another couple of minutes if anybody's got more questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna stop sharing my screen.
Okay.
Okay, Sharon, there's a message. I'm typing the answer out, but to get the download history. The little head,
Where to get download history?
yeah, the little head shape at the top.
Oh, okay. You get to download history by if you go to your account, which is going by clicking on the head shape, even under my maps. I'm just going to do it on my phone right now. Soon as I click on my head and shoulders, it actually bumps me into the main sign-on screen, and download history is right there. That's how it works on a Android. I'm assuming it works the same on a iPhone.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Okay, and there was also a question about GPX tracks. When you watch the YouTube video of me starting tracking and traipsing up the trail and then naming it, that was a GPX track. And those are the tracks that if you've made some and you're somewhere that the public can ride, particularly we want public land, and we haven't created a map yet for Horse Council, yes, we'd love to see your tracks. And you can either upload them if there's already a trail record in the Horse Council database, or if you're confused about that, you can always send an email to Dear Sarah at recreation@hcbc.ca. You'll also find that on the online trail database page. And you can just send a note saying, hey, this is what I've done and what do I do next? Anything else?
There's a question about can I save my tracks on Avenza and then share them on the Horse Council BC as an upload? So I'm assuming that's a single track.
Yes, so that goes back to the last one I answered. So if you've made a track and it's on public land and you would like to share it, the first thing that Horse Council is going to look at is that particular trail area in the database now, right? So if you send me a trail kind of going out your back 40, that's fine if it's public land, but we do need it to make a trail record. And then we will make a map for it as well. So the Horse Council wants to have the maps we want to connect to an actual trail record that's in the online trail database, right? So there's 250 things in there now, but we're happy to take more. But again, I'd say email Sarah, contact me, whatever. But yeah, we'd love to have more tracks. We'd love to make more maps. Nothing would make me happier. Okay, any other questions?
I think there was a few things that were kind of not sent out to the whole group. So there are a couple of people here who are a lot more advanced, and like Sharon said, we will look at doing a second webinar as maybe a next level, but we're not experts either. And anybody that wants to join in to help us, that'd be awesome.
Sarah, did you want to do a poll about this? Does anybody want a level 2?
Yeah, sure. Why don't I run that poll right now? 'Cause I
And
know
then
people
depending
are
on if we got lots of interest, we could run another one of these and cover up some of the stuff that's a little more experienced.
Yeah, all right. I'm just gonna share that last poll here.
Where will this presentation be able to be found afterwards for people who weren't able to attend?
Yeah, we will have that posted on our YouTube channel afterwards. And yeah, I'll probably get an email sent out to kind of all the participants and everything with kind of that information in there.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no worries.
I think I've answered just about everybody's questions on the chat. Yep, I think so.
And if there's, like we said, if there's any questions that we didn't cover, didn't get covered on the chat, or by re-watching this whole webinar, which means Linda and Sarah's right, like you can go and start watching the YouTube video and pause it. You can pause the whole thing on the YouTube channel, then you can make more notes or have your phone in front of you, and that you'll find that more helpful.
All right, yeah, so it looks like I'll maybe close the poll now. I think everybody's kind of answered.
Looks like there's lots of interest. Oh dear, more work to do. We're gonna have to get
Yeah.
busy, Linda.
Anyway, good feedback. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, good feedback in the chat as well.
Yes. Thanks very much for attending. I'm looking forward to receiving all your tracks.
Yeah, no, that's great. And yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything. If there are more questions that we didn't get to cover, just certainly send me an email and I can always forward that on to Linda and Sharon, kind of get your questions answered. But yeah, thank you so much, Linda and Sharon, for kind of spending your time with us and I know it does take a lot of work to do all these presentations, so I appreciate. And if anybody's wanting to just starting trail riding or wanting to get camping with their horses, certainly look into the Backcountry Horsemen as well. There's a lot of knowledge and expertise there, and definitely a good group to get connected with if you're into that. And yeah, also they do a ton of volunteer work, so a great way to get connected, and if you can offer some help volunteering with them, that's also a great way to kind of keep our trails going. So yeah, so I think that's everything. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your guys' busy schedules to attend the webinar tonight. And yeah, I think that's everything. Anything else to add, Linda or Sharon?
Thank you very much, Sarah. Thank you very much, Linda.
Awesome. All right.
Thanks, ladies.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Have a
Bye-bye.
good night. Okay, bye.